As a county supervisor who has a planning department underneath them and all the things they try to tell you why we got to do this, this is really good information. Really good information about this re-education and everything going on. I mean, what you're learning here is tremendous because you have the real facts. You got people that are in the business telling you what they're trying to do, and it is a re-education. And what I just wanted to spend a little bit of time to talk about was a little bit of that education, because we have been re-educated for a long time, and I don't even know if we know it. Let me go back and start what I believe was one of the greatest re-educations in America. From the start of this country to about 1913, 1912, how was the income of the country done? How did the government get money? Tariffs and levies, right? That's right. That's how they got money. And then what happened in 1913? They did an income tax. An income tax, and who was it on? On millionaires. Think about that in 1913. How much money would you be making? That's like the multi-billionaires today, right? That's what it was. And so, doesn't affect you, no big deal. It's on those people. And did we see people stop it? No, they didn't, did they? And then, you know, once government gets a hold of your income, they own everything. Do you believe the government owns your income right now? No, you don't, do you? I say they do. I say, how many of you work for an employer? Okay, there's a few of you. Well, some hard-working entrepreneurial people out there. I love this. Or maybe some retired. Or work, how about who worked for an employer? Okay, there you go. All right. So if you're working there and you get your paycheck and they take out some number of your taxes. But I'm telling you, if our President Obama said, you must take 100% of that paycheck, Mr. Employer, or else you will go to jail. What would that employer have to do? Take 100% of your paycheck. The idea that you own your money is not true. The idea is they own it. And I think it was John Adams who said that originally, is once they get a hold of your income, they've got everything. And that's what they did. So what now is the government owns it all, and they allow you to have a little bit of it. And that's part of that whole thing. Anyway, so we were educated. And then as life went on, it wasn't just the 1 millionaires, wasn't anymore. We came in and we slowly educate. You need to give the government money. You need to slowly do that. And then we started to see other things. Zoning laws came in, didn't they? And what did we hear about from these gentlemen today? Originally they came in was to building standards and laws for public safety, right? Public safety to protect you. And it was all about good government. We saw that. Then we saw things like homeowner associations come involved. Anybody been involved in one of those? Right, there you go. And they tell you what you can do and what you can't do, don't they? They do. They start to control. All the way down to saying, it's good for your property. It's good for you that we do this. But during this progressive change, people started to believe that others could control their property. What did she just talk about? Others controlling this property. But it was all because it's going to help your property values, right? It's all for you. See, this is an education process that we've been slowly over the years starting to believe. I remember my father when I was a kid. I'd say, I'm going to go do this. I'm not sure we could do that. When I was a kid, you could go do that kind of stuff. Now they don't let you. How many kids do you hear nowadays say, they don't allow you to do that? They don't allow you to do this. That's a mindset that has been brought into you, the educating you, where it's re-educating you. And how many generations now do we have that believe this? David has a tremendous book. I think you talked about it. The things that these kids are learning nowadays is crazy. But let me just kind of go through this as generations have grown up believing that they cannot do the things with their own property that they want to. They've lost their rights. But somebody else can tell you what you can do. In my county, it is, like I said, David, it's one of the most restrictive. It's a beautiful place. Who's been to Ventura County? Have you been to the Reagan Library? Yeah, it's a beautiful place. But it's the most restrictive county in California, guaranteed. They say, I got a supervisor who put what we call a SOAR program. It's the most restrictive county in America. You can live 100 miles away in the county, and all of a sudden, this little piece of farmland right next to a commercial piece, I'd like to have it annexed so I can use it for commercial. Guess what? You have to have what they call a SOAR vote. That means that person 100 miles away has to vote on if it's all right for you to take that 1 acre in. Can you believe that? And because there was a church right next that wanted a piece of property right next to a city, right next to city limits, they wanted to take 135 acres and use about 5 acres of it, and because they couldn't find a piece big enough in the city to use, they wanted to take that piece and take 5 acres of it and have it for a church. And then another group alongside it was called the Hunger Fund. It feeds millions of people around the world. They wanted to put that together. And then they were going to donate all the rest of that 120 plus acres to open space. These supervisors said, there's no way you are putting anything in our open space. And you know what they did? They passed a law 4-1. I was the one who voted against it. You can't even have assembly use in the open space of any kind. Assembly use. So if Harvard says, hey, we want to come out and put a university, there's no big place in any of the cities, in the 12, 15 cities in Ventura County, we want to put it right there, right next to this nice big open space right here. Can't have it. No way. Can't have assembly use at all. You can't have people gather for any kind of a business purpose. However, the state of California, though, can come in and take that land right now and do anything they want with it because it's a government agency. Those are the kind of rights that are being taken away.